What's up, Zox fam? We're back with some more Etheria Restart. Now, we're going to be getting into a character overview of Illusion's reality, Chiaki. And this is going to be a unit bringing some pretty valuable stuff. Not only is she able to offer you some healing, but she can also give you some damage reduction. Now, when we're actually looking at how her kit works, starting off with the skill 1, the Swift Swallow, Chiaki creates origami puppets to attack, dealing 240% damage to a single enemy and healing 2 allies with the lowest HP by 20% of their HP, which is pretty straightforward. Then getting into the skill 2, the Origami Puppet, Chiaki creates origami puppets to heal a single ally by 40% max HP and applies 3 stacks of 5-turn Origami Guardian. This is going to be one of the highest stacking and duration buffs when we're looking at what Origami Guardian does. When attacked by an attack skill, consumes 1 stack to decrease the damage taken by an additional 35% up to 5 stacks. So this is going to be excellent for mitigating damage. Now, when we're also looking at the Origami Hen, Chiaki creates lots of origami puppets to heal all allies by 24% max HP. And for every 2% of HP loss, the healing effect or efficiency increases by an additional 1% and applies 2 stacks of Origami Guardian for 5 turns. So this is going to be essential for keeping damage down, but also the more HP value that you're actually losing, the more HP potency you actually can get from a character like Chiaki. Now, as far as module recommendations, I would definitely say working your way into your early game, even into late game, you can utilize ones like Swift Rush, which is going to be giving you on a 12 matrix bonus a speed value increase of 35%. You also have ones like Wellspring. So Wellspring on a 12 matrix bonus is going to be giving you 45% HP. Then you also have ones later on that you'll be able to invest into. Bloodbath, which is going to give effect res of 18%. And then when taking cumulative damage greater than 20% of max HP in a turn, the excess damage is further reduced by 60%. And then you're also going to have ones much later on that you can use like Colossal Guard, which is going to give you a defense increase of 25% and effect res of 20%. Now, when we're looking at the main stats and substats that you can aim for, I would definitely say HP bonus, effect res, and HP bonus would be very lucrative for a character like this. You really want to prevent as many debuffs as possible and having as much bulk as possible because, again, you not only want the character to survive, but as her HP diminishes, that's also going to be increasing the healing efficiency. Now, with that, I would definitely say with the substats, you want to make sure that you're aiming for things like HP, defense, of course, speed, and then effect res. Those are going to be some of the big ones. Now, getting into skill prioritization, I would definitely say skill 3 would be first, with the first node increasing healing effect to 22% of the target's max HP. The second node will increase the additional healing boost by 1%. The third node will increase healing effect to 24% of target's max HP. And the fourth node will increase the number of Origami Guardian stacks to 2. Then next up would be skill 2, where it will, in the first node, be increasing the healing effect to 35%. The second will actually be increasing the number of Origami Guardian stacks to 3. The third will increase the healing effect to 40%. And then the final thing here on the final node will reduce skill cooldowns by 1 turn. And then lastly, for the skill 1, we have the increased damage multiplier to 220%. The second node will increase healing effect to 20% of the target's max HP. The third node will further increase the damage multiplier to 240%. And then the final node will increase the number of allies healed to 2. Now, as far as shell recommendations, starting on the Shadow Runner, you have the Unbridled Science. So this is going to be after the owner takes action, increases the strike prep by 30%. Then moving forward, you're also going to have ones coming from Kururu, which is actually going to be ones like Star. So before the owner takes action, reduces their next skill cooldown by 1 turn. You can also utilize ones like the Mermaid Princess. So before the owner takes action, if the owner Animus has debuffs, purifies 2 of those debuffs. Then, of course, moving over into Phoebian, we're going to have ones like, for example, the Diamond Heart, which is going to be giving you a defense increase of, or 2 turn of defense increase, and then applies 2 turns of shield equal to 300% of own defense on the owner Animus and the ally with the lowest HP percentage. And then going back, we're also going to have ones like, for example, coming from Whitney, the Shanghai Jing. So for every 3 actions accumulated by enemy units, increases the owner's strike prep by 20%, and it can be triggered up to 1 time per turn. You can also consider ones like Blizzard. So after the owner takes action, has a 50% chance to reduce the cooldown of 1 random skill on cooldown by 1 turn. And then, of course, moving forward, we also have Nico Nada, who is going to have ones like Gigabyte. So for every 3 actions accumulated by enemy units, increases the owner's strike prep by 30% and can be triggered up to 1 time per turn. Of course, we have Alicorn, so before the owner takes action, if the owner has debuffs, dispels 2 debuffs, and for every 1 debuff dispelled, recovers 8% max HP. And then lastly, coming from Astarte, we actually are going to have ones like the Codex of Magic, which before the owner acts, unleashes the owner Animus' full potential, making their next skill cost no cooldown. And then we have the bad Lighthouse. So there's triggers when the main body takes cumulative damage greater than 25% of max HP within a turn, healing the main body for 20% of max HP and increasing the strike prep by 35%. Now, of course, getting into our infamous pros and cons, I would definitely say with Chiaki, the biggest thing with her is the damage reduction. This is something that is going to be quite massive because of the windows of time that you actually are given so that you can actually have the opponents make these effects go into effect. And then, of course, the extra incentive is the fact that you then get the healing on top. So this actually ends up being a nice layering to how her kit works. Now, when we're actually looking at cons, I think one of the biggest cons that really Chiaki faces is the fact that in order for her to scale her healing efficiency, she does need to lose some HP value. And typically, you kind of don't want to lose HP after a certain point because then that makes you basically up for bat to be nuked. So a lot of the times this can be quite problematic and you're going to have to fine tune this, especially as you go, because in early game, you're not really going to have nearly as high of values versus like in the end game. So with all of that being said, I hope that this was able to give you more of an idea of how the Illusions Reality Chiaki works and maybe a way for you to apply this Animus to your compositions. Of course, guys, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing Etheria Restart content just like this. So that's going to be that with this one, guys. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.